Okay. Hey, everybody. It is Kayla Troutman here, Global Director from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And I'm super excited to share with you leaders something that I'm super passionate about. And I have an amazing senior leader with me this morning, Sherry Ide. And she is going to help me walk through really one of the most important things we do as leaders, probably the most important, to be honest, if you're looking at growing an income here, growing your business here, rank advancing. And that is, once you sponsor, which we all know we need to do, how do you get that person started strong? How do you onboard? What's your process? What's your welcome call? So get ready. I'm going to let Sherry tell you a little bit more about herself. And then we're going to walk you through a process we use for every newbie that comes into our organization. We're going to pull up on the screen our 5 steps to a strong welcome call. And then we're going to talk about what we do post welcome call to really onboard a new consultant. But without further ado, Sherry, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business. I can't wait for everyone to learn from you.
Yes, as Kayla said, I am Sherry Ide. I am from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I've actually been just in this industry for 7.5 years. The time keeps going and I'm like, oh wait, it's not 5 years anymore. It's not 6, I think it's 7.5 years. And came over with Epicure when they came to the US. So I'm very excited to be one of the founding leadership teams here. And I have 5 kids. I have, well, for most of my time in this business, my husband is a traveling singer-songwriter, recording artist. He's a pastor now. He still travels some, but we wear many hats, homeschooling 5 kids. They've all been part of all this, which is super fun for them to see what I do and how I've really grown in this and running a successful business. But also they eat it. They go off to college. They take the steamer with, they take the meal solutions with, they're taking all of it. I have to reorder all the time. So it's super fun just to see how involved they are too. And probably the biggest thing as we head into this topic is I really changed momentum starting in December, well, kind of in the fall, looking into the new year. I really wanted to up my game. I really was going to take what Epicure says, that 8 is great, and I was going to really just do that and to see what happens. And the momentum of my team, my growth is phenomenal. So I think that that's a really nice backbone to say as leaders too, you know, as far as your calendar and your goals, the momentum that happens when you really put more cooking classes, recruiting changes, onboarding changes, confidence changes, energy changes, and the enthusiasm of your team will never rise above your enthusiasm. And so I've lived that in the last few months.
Yeah, I love that. When we were talking ahead of time here before this training and just making sure we had good notes and we were ready to rock it out, you know, Sherry said, I think it ties directly to what Buck always says. And that is she increased her activity and got in front of more people, which increased her sponsoring. And then she found this confidence in welcoming them in and onboarding strong, which means her team is now sponsoring and they're trusting. Yeah. This is what Sherry used as language. They're trusting in her to do strong welcome calls with them and onboard them strong as well. And so there's just this great cycle happening, right? You run classes, you sponsor teammates, you bring them to Sherry and she's doing these welcomes and helping. And so I'm really excited for you guys to learn from both of us today. So the first thing I want you to write down on a piece of paper, grab a piece of paper. I hope you want to take lots of notes as we share, is that onboarding is part of your job as a leader. And as Sherry shared, Sherry, when would you say the flip happened? Has it happened directly because of the extra classes you're doing and the momentum, or how have you built the confidence to be better in this area in onboarding and welcoming new consultants?
Well, I do think the momentum, I think that is key. And I do think doing it scared. Like early on the welcome call and I'm like, hold my hand, Kayla, can you do the welcome call? Can you do the welcome call? Because I just didn't trust myself. And then just a few key things flipped on how I did it. And it was a game changer. And we'll be talking about some of those things. But I think the biggest thing is caring and relationships with everyone that I bring in. And we'll talk about this too, but I do all the welcome calls that I can on video chat on Messenger. So I'm seeing them, they're seeing me, they can see my smile, I can see them. You know, I was talking to Kayla too, that recently I had 2 Amy's that brought on 2 Kims, and I have a Sandy who brought on a Sandy, and there's no way, I'm like, my head is spinning. I'm like, I'm confused, which Kim does this belong to? But when I see their faces, and of course I take notes, that's a game changer. And I think that relationship is huge.
Yeah, I love that. So number one, onboarding is part of your job. It's so important. It builds your income and your business and your rank. It builds it all. If you're going to take the time to do the class and sponsor someone, take that step to get to know the person, build the relationship. As Sherry said, I had a big circle here. I'm going to cross it off, like make sure you talk about the relationship side and why I think that's a reason that the Troutman organization has seen such growth, that the IDE organization has, and that all of the teams that are within this, within our organization have grown, is relationships. We really focus on fun and community and connection. For whatever that person comes into Epicure, they need to know what's available, and they need to know you're here to support them, and the whole team is as well. And I think that's important. So that's number one, onboarding and relationships. That's really part of the job. We have a really strong process in the Troutman organization for bringing on a newbie. And so that's a 5-step process, and it's pretty simple. So you can write these down. One, and we actually have a Facebook post that I share monthly. I change it up a little bit, algorithms working against me otherwise, but it says, number one, when you have a newbie that wants to sign up, you're going to hover over their name and you're going to sponsor them. And here's the information you need. And here's how you do that. And that might sound silly, but you guys, we have to educate our team on how to sponsor. They don't know. So we make it very normal in our organization. Every single month, we're talking about this process of coming in. So you sponsor them, you sign them up and get excited. Then you're going to welcome them to the Troutman organization and to your leaders groups or chats, whatever else there is, but you're going to welcome them, get a picture, make them feel a part of something, because they are. Number three, you're going to connect them to our new consultant training call that we do as a global organization. And we actually do 2 options for that. We give a call that we're partnered with the Nicholson organization on, and that happens weekly. And we also do a Facebook Live option now to give people the option if they don't want to get on Zoom. We're doing a 2-part Facebook Live. And so that's step number 3, is plug them into that. Let them know the next couple dates and give them that schedule so they can choose what's good for them. And then number 4, as Sherry said, the most important, we do a welcome call and we really connect, video chat like this if we can. Facebook Messenger, you guys, you can just pop in a group chat and you can just hit the little video camera thing at the top and you're all live in a video call. And it's awesome. You don't even need numbers anymore. Although a 3-way call and stuff is still great if you need to be on the road or need to be on the go, because I love that we can do this whenever. However, done is better than perfect. But if you can video chat, I think it's so powerful. So number 4 is the welcome call. And then number 5 is kind of where to go, what to do. And so we really want to plug them into what we have in the Troutman organization, is what our new consultant training looks like. And that's a 20-step process to get started. I know other organizations are using a different platform for training. Some are doing just sending them to the back office under Epicure University, new consultants start here. Whatever you have, I hope you're hearing that each of these steps is a little bit different. And what we hope is that we hit every learning style, every personality, and every opportunity, give them every opportunity to plug in somewhere. I also think it's important to note they're also going to get those awesome emails from the second they sign up from Epicure. So a combination of these things should hit them in some way, should match what they need to get started. And that's why we really just give this 5-step process to our team. So I'm going to go over one more time, and then I'm going to let Sherry add any notes if she has them. So sign them up, welcome them to the Troutman organization. So your organization. Make sure they know the new consultant training call schedule, like, hey, we really require this in your first couple of weeks. Here's the next couple of calls, and or you could do a Facebook Live on one of these Saturdays. Does any of that work for you? And we teach them that language, how to do that. Schedule the welcome call. It's so important as number 4. And number 5 is kind of where to go. And for us, it's a 20-step onboarding process that we have set up. You may have something different, but really laying it out and making sure that they know where to go. So Sherry, thoughts on that? What do you add as you teach your team to sponsor and onboard?
Yeah, I think a couple things. One is, and maybe this was alluded to or said, but I have the consultant set us up in the 3-way chat. So the consultant sets up. So, and it's interesting that if you haven't done it, it might take a couple new consultants to kind of get that rolling. But my last 4 or 5, all of them, now that I started that's just the given. That's just what they do. And they're grateful for that. And it really starts with helping them understand too, when you bring them on, that I will coach all your new people. They're on your team, but I will coach them. I will help them. I will launch them. And I do that to support you and to support you filling your calendar and inviting your new teammate. And when they know that, and you've already built a relationship with them, if that's ongoing, I think that there just becomes this trust, and they just automatically do that. And now the new person who was brought in, that's just automatic now here too. So I think that that is a really neat rolling thing that just starts to happen once you start to do that. But that three-way chat is huge, and letting them know why you are helping them with their team. If they came from some other experiences, which my last many did, they came and at first they might be a little bit standoffish, like, oh, I'm not, this is different. I've never been supported like this before. I've never had someone that cares that much. And then they're so grateful. They're so grateful because it's all about helping them to be successful. And I was just going to give one example of a coaching call or a welcome call I did with a gal, couple removed, and saw her, met her, got to know her. And really she was more about, I just want to get my kit. I just want to see, I want to taste it. And I just want to take this slow, which is great. We support whatever somebody wants. But I talked about that I launched, and I said, most people have me do it, but you don't have to. But launch, or of course use different words if launch is a little more of a intimidating word or doesn't work for them. And she was like, no, I'm going to wait. Well, I happened to get on a call with her 2 nights ago just to work on some tech things. And then she said, no, you're launching me in April, right? In my mind, I'm going, oh, yes, that's what I wanted to do. But of course, I thought she was kind of a no for that, which is okay. But I think it was that relationship that was built, and her consultant, Amy, trusts me. And now all of a sudden, Libby trusts me too and wants me to launch. And I'm with Kayla. I like to launch them because I know I'm going to hit the business. I'm going to hit cooking classes. I'm going to hit being a customer and how we'll take care of you more than once. And then love and talk so positively about that new consultant. And so I think all of that continues to build that relationship and that trust.
Yeah. So in case this is not something you've been doing, so what Sherry's saying is when she sponsors direct a person, a lot of times you're talking to them via text or you're talking to them via messenger or email. Perfect. You just continue that, set up the welcome call. It's easy. But I think this training today, also what we want to build on is that you need to do this for all of your team. You as the leader, that's your role. So Sherry just set the tone. It took a few times is what she was saying, but once she got it and she built the trust with that first consultant, it trickles. You build trust with Amy, and Amy does a really good welcome call with you, and she gets started strong and she's seeing success. Amy trusts you and she links you up with Libby and Susie and Megan and Bethany. And next thing you know, she's got a team of 4 or 5 and you're telling her it's leader time. This is where it starts, you guys. This is how you build leaders right here. I'm going to get on soapbox about this. I got to catch myself here, but this is how it starts. So the message chat is where Amy would add in Libby and Sherry and say, hey, everybody, welcome to the team, Libby. This is my upline leader, Sherry. Sherry, this is Libby. I'm going to let you guys see if you can coordinate a date, and I'll jump on the welcome call too if I can, but I really want you, Libby, to get started with Sherry as soon as possible. But Libby now trusts, because Amy trusts Sherry. Libby gets on the call. Libby's business gets started. If Amy is able, she might jump on the call too and listen. And it's just continuous, like good practice for her to hear those onboarding calls and be present, especially if leadership is on her radar. If it's not yet, Sherry might be doing them alone. And I think that's important for you guys to know. We get paid on our entire team. It doesn't matter if they're, like Sherry said, 8 times removed, right? They're way deep. That could be your next leader in your personal team. And she might skip all of those other generations. So just really being mindful of that. And thanks, Sherry, for that reminder. Yeah, to get connected and to teach the trust and the connection right here in that process, in these steps of what do you do when you sponsor a new teammate? Perfect. Anything else?
Yeah.
Please.
I was going to say too, so I have someone who's running for leader right now. And the other thing I wanted to assure her about is that once you become leader, I'm not dropping you. I'm still going to do your welcome calls. I'm still going to, as she skills up in different areas, then she can take them over. And she went really, there was something about that removed it. If there was a fear of leadership and all of a sudden, no, I've got to do it. She's only been here a month and a half. So, or maybe 2 months. But so I think that's helpful too. If you're a brand new leader, your upline will help you with this process. You're not, you become a leader and then you're like, oh crap, now what do I do? I'm not ready.
Totally. Yeah. And so then at this point now we've got them in, they're signed up, they're starting to feel at our community. We've hopefully got them in a chat or an email or somewhere where we're connecting and we're setting up a welcome call. And a lot of people ask us in the organization what we do to welcome our new consultants. So I thought that would be good if we just had these steps up here, a little wordy, but I wanted you to be able to take a print screen. I talk really fast. So my hope was you'd be able to snap a print screen and keep this for later and yet be able to see what we do. So we do new consultant welcome calls for every person that will let us. as they come into our team. So I'm Kayla and welcoming my personal Kayla Troutman team, and Sherry Ide is doing her personal team. And that includes anyone that's in our downline that would be with us. So whenever there's not a leader between, we're doing that. I just want to really stress that because I've heard just different things throughout the company about, I've heard a little bit of language around, well, that's Susie Joe's person and Susie Joe's an executive, so I'm just letting her do it. And I'm always like, no, that could be your leader. Susie Joe might never go for leader. But this girl, Bethany, who just came in, I don't know why I keep going to Bethany as the example. If your name is Bethany, you're just the rock star today. But I feel like Bethany could be the leader and she needs that support from a leader as well. And why I say that always in my organization is we have a little more skin in the game. We've got the season launch kits, the higher income. We've earned some of those bonuses and matching bonuses. We really care about Bethany's well-being, whatever's best for her, but we want her to know what's here and we want her to know what's possible. So we really, really, really need to be doing these calls. So, okay, step one on the call. So we're on the call now and I'm on the phone. We're going to use Bethany because that's going to be an easy one. So Sherry, we're talking to a Bethany today and we're on the call with Bethany. We set up this welcome call and I tell them that there's 5 steps I'm going to be going over and I want to quick just introduce myself. I tell them a little bit about me so they know I'm just a normal person. It's always like without having to plan it, Macaulay will bust in, my 5-year-old, and say something silly or the dog will bark and I'm like, see, I'm just like you, and I joke about that and I try to build rapport. And then I ask them to tell me a little bit about themselves and how they landed on this call. How did you get here? And so we're just getting to know each other. And Sherry, I think that's what you do as well, right? A little bit rapport building. Okay, beautiful. Now the goal is to keep this call to about 30 minutes. So I'm mindful of what I say about myself and how much, and mindful about just asking them a few questions. And then I say, actually, step 1, you're already doing it. You just told me a little bit about yourself. You're getting to know me. Welcome to our team. That's what step 1 is. Do the call, because otherwise I think you're going to be afraid to ask questions, or you might fear sounding silly, or you might think, gosh, what's available here? We're going to answer that in the next few minutes. And then you're going to have time to think about it and then come back and ask further questions. And so you'll see that I have that listed there for you guys that are watching this training. All are welcome here. We give a very good feel on whether you came for the products or you came to build an income. Maybe you're not sure. Perfect. And then I ask my most famous, I call it infamous, but I actually think in the Troutman org, it's a little famous. The question I love to ask, when you think of why you joined Epicure, are you coming here more for product or are you coming here more for income? And then I pause just like that. And I say nothing else until they speak. And sometimes it's a 30-second pause, which it can feel like 5 minutes. So it can feel a little bit long, but they're thinking about how they want to answer. And most of the time, they say both, or they say initially product, but I want to see where this goes. Or you know what? I don't know. And then guess what? I proceed with the call either way. So Sherry, what do you do there at step 1?
Really the same thing. And I was going to say, I think it's key, or it can be helpful or valuable to share, here's why we're on this call. Because I really want to get to know you and I want you to get to know me, because I'm a resource for you and you can ask me anything. And this is a great chat here where you can ask. And then of course the team chat and that when we talk about that. But I think that helps them to know, why the heck am I on this call with this person? I don't even care, and so I think that is helpful. And then I love too, the whole product or income, because I think it does make them pause and they may answer differently than they initially thought why they were here. And I think that happens a lot. And all of a sudden their wheels are spinning a little bit differently. And then continue the same way, either way.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, of course, when we say the either way, I want to be very careful and remind all of you this. You cannot make a discounter do anything. You can't make a career-driven person or an income-driven person do anything. That's not your role. The role is to present and offer and encourage and believe in people more than they've ever believed in themselves. That's your role as a leader. So when I say that and I say I do this call the same either way, I'm not telling somebody who just told me they're here for product that they must go through all of Epicure University and send me a report and tell me what they learned. No. What it would sound like when we go to step 2. Okay, so number 2 on this call is where to go. I just want to simplify this for you. We really only care about 2 things right now. Now, I'm going to warn you. Epicure has a Facebook group, or consultants have a Facebook group for everything you can imagine. And I'm not even going to tell you all of them on this call because you'll go look for them. I know you will. And I make a joke out of that. So I just say all I care about, and this is not because I like me the most, is that you're in the Troutman Facebook group because we have some things there. And that's where we have our 20 steps of getting started for my organization. So we want them to be there, right? And I also want to make sure they know how to log into your back office. Have you done that yet? Okay, great. You haven't. Well, let me just tell you, it's myepicure.com versus when you were a customer, you were using epicure.com. So I explained that right then. And I just say, those are really the only two places that are going to serve you right now. Go to Epicure University and start the new consultant training, making your contact list, watching the Fast Start video, and then follow the Troutman 20 steps of getting started. In there, you're going to find where we have our new consultant call schedule as well. And you're going to love that. So that's really it. I know there's a lot of noise. You're going to see us cheering each other on. I hope you love that. I hope you feel connected to the community, but don't feel like you're going to catch every training. Don't feel like you're supposed to understand everything. Just start there. And so I really start them simple. Sherry, what about you?
Yeah, I like that. I say that too, that there's a plethora of things out there, and it shows we care about them because we do, to say, but I'm only going to add you to two things here. That's it. And then as you get comfortable, get your feet wet, and then, we can certainly, there's so many more things to be a part of. But I think that does show that we care, that we're really trying to keep it simple and what is of the most value and the best use of their time.
100%. I love it. And then I say, step number 3 is my favorite. And I could spend a whole hour just going through this with you, but I'll keep it short because you can go and watch again in the step above the video about Fast Start and see Fast Start laid out for you in our training. But we have an amazing program called Fast Start, and it lasts the entire first 3 months of your business. So I do make sure that I know when that person joined so I can give them their specifics. And I ask them to write it down at the top of their notes, month 1, month 2, month 3. And then I really explain that this is the way everyone can accelerate their business, earn the most, get started, and also give it a chance. See what it could be. Don't be scared of Fast Start because you're never punished if you miss something, but you really can give this a shot and see if it works out for you. And either way, when you get to the end of it, you can make a decision that said, you know what, that was fun. I earned all the bonuses. I earned all the prizes, but I'm actually really happy just loving the products or being part-time, or no, you know what, Kayla, I love being a leader. So I really just kind of walk them through that, about 30 to 60 seconds of mindset. So when I say the next piece, they're ready to hear it. And then this is where I say our Fast Start works in 3 ways. So the entire time you're in that Fast Start. So right now, we're joining in April. So we'd have April and May is month 1, June is month 2, July, all the way through July. Anytime you rank advance your title, you're going to get a cash bonus, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Anytime you sponsor a teammate, you're going to get a cash bonus when we help them get their business started. And guess what? That's my job. Just like I'm helping you, I'm going to help all of them, and you're going to get a cash bonus every time. And then every time you close 4 cooking classes in each of those 3 months, you're going to get a prize. And they're really nice prizes. Lots of free products, your kit paid back, and conference registration. So really, this program is set up to teach you consistency, starting with cooking classes, meeting the people to grow your team, because people are going to want to join your team right from the start, I promise you. And then we're going to help you rank advance and see the most income growth right away. And you can decide what's here for you. Now I do go into just 2 quick things that I think are important for them to note. Month 1, they get the $40 VIP voucher. And I explain that a cooking class can be any way you combined orders, but it has to be at least $250 in sales and 4 unique buying guests. So I set them up with the what is Fast Start and a little bit about just those basics, so that when they go out there, they don't think, a class is $100 or something. I don't want some of those basics confused. And then I finish it off with, okay, so you can earn bonuses. You can earn more bonuses. You can earn prizes when you close classes. And we talked about a class. What questions do you have for me? And a lot of times they're like, I'm not really sure. And I said, no problem. Once you look at it further, your homework, and this is always where I give them their first homework piece, is to come back to me in the next 48 hours and just tell me what you think of the Fast Start program. Is it motivating to you? And what parts are motivating to you? And make sure you look at the bottom, because there's a really big cash bonus there. And that's how I finish step number 3. What do you do, Sherry? How do you walk them through Fast Start?
I love that. And I just took some notes too, but okay. So this was actually a place where I just was so intimidated by it. I would talk about fast start, but I was always so bumpy. Like I thought, how come I can't get this part down? This is such a key part of something amazing our company offers. And then I simplified it. And really, as you're doing it, do the same thing. I give them the graphic, but I tell them just get a snapshot of what this is, because you have the graphic to go back to. You've got the fast start video, but I just want to tell you a little bit how amazing this is in your first 3 months. And then I start with the same thing, rank advancement. Here's what happens. How do we rank advance? We just invite people, which we all talk food. We all, it becomes natural because you're talking about food. You invite people to join you. And then how do we get in front of enough people to invite them? Well, it's through cooking classes. And then I break down too, because sometimes if they have come here and there's like, no way I'm going live, there's no way I'm doing cooking classes, then it can look many different ways. It's basically a party link. And I do more than once on the call, 4 buying guests, 250. I said, I'm a broken record. You'll hear this a lot because I think that can easily get missed. But telling them just how easy a class is. In our back office, you can upload. There's team classes that we offer just to make it the easy thing that it really can be, but how the classes are a backbone. And I use the words, and I thought this was key when I learned this too. This is what we do. This is what we do, because then that really models the right behavior, and they can decide whatever they would like to do, and we support them. But we really always want to be about modeling the right thing to do, the right behavior to lead to the results.
Yeah, I always say, everyone, even my most part-time people, are going through the Fast Start program, because it's truthful. Everyone goes through the Fast Start program. It's how much they take advantage. I'm not fibbing, but I want them to know that it is easy, and that my goal is to stay ahead of the company percentages that we pull as a whole at Epicare. I want the Troutman organization to have more people that do month 1 than anyone else, and more people that do month 2. And if all of us adapted those goals, right? If we all adopted that and said, you know what, let's all go to beat that, the company average would rise and we would have more people going through the Fast Start. So it's one of my goals in 2021 is just to help people have more success. And it's like Sherry said, modeling it, that it's doable and it's easy and everyone can do it no matter how busy you are. So yeah, really making Fast Start fun and understandable. Now, some people have asked me, well, how long does this call take? Again, 30 minutes or less. You're only spending a couple minutes there. We're giving you more words than you would use with any one person, but drilling home those same concepts is what we do. And step 4 is so important. I made huge arrows on my notes here. Tell them not to leave the welcome call without a launch plan, or like Sherry said, an action item. Like if they absolutely will not set a date, then you're going to have them get their kit, try the products, and you guys are going to have a calendar date set. Like, I'm going to check back with you on April 3rd. I'm going to check back with you on April 9th or whatever, right? So launching or getting started is step 4. I tell them this, let's take action. Let's get you cooking. Let's get your launch plan set up. If we can, while we're on this call quick, because then we can flip your launch group into your customer and VIP group. So I've helped you get started with that first class. And then we also have your customer group done. And I really encourage them to focus on the training stuff we talked about in step number 2 here, and inviting to their launch and booking their first classes. I am okay as a leader, as a global director, with setting up a quick Facebook group for a new consultant and getting a few posts out there and launching them with a solid demo. Because as Sherry noted, and I've noted on this call already, I know I'm confident in all of these areas. I know when I launch them, they're going to book their first classes, and they're going to probably even sponsor someone right away when I have the opportunity to use my language and my confidence and my excitement and my enthusiasm. And remember, I don't look nervous using the chef knife on the cutting board or putting the chicken in the steamer, because I've done it 27,000 times. Okay, that's probably an exaggeration, but I feel confident doing it. And so in number 4, I'm not using all of this language, but I'm inviting them to take action, go live with their kit when it arrives, start cooking right away. But can we set up a launch? Would you like my help? Would you be open to my help? And then we could flip that into your customer group where you'll share. So even my most part-time consultants now have a place to share the monthly specials and collect bulk orders or do general orders, and they stay active. We've got really good retention on them because we still gave them a place to fit into our community at a very part-time level. And then we've got people who want to do a couple classes, and we got people who want to do more. And so really setting that. Sherry, I think you're working on that too, or like I said, setting up an action plan for after the call if they won't set a date, correct?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say too, if they already, if they're a hostess that turned consultant, they already have a cooking class group that their consultant did for them.
Yes.
So then I share with them how easy it is to just turn that into their VIP group. And then I offered a demo again, even though their consultant did awesome. So there's no question there. I said, it gives you a chance to just see another example, another template. And they have eyes to look at it differently because now they are a consultant. And I keep it short. And maybe just showcase a couple quick things, but I talk about them and uplift them. But anyways, the point being, if they already had a cooking class, flip it and you can go live in there too.
Yeah, I do. I'll flip it. If they had a cooking class last month and they join and then we do the welcome, I'll say, well, I'd like to pop on for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll make something in the steamer really quick, but I'm going to talk about a little bit more. And then that's where I go tell a little bit about my story. I invite them to join the business and join Bethany right away. Bethany's looking for her first teammates because it's so fun to be in Fast Start or Startup together. So who's going to join her? Reach out to her if you have any interest. Reach out to me with questions. And if not the business, you're all going to want to host a cooking class to support Bethany because she has these $40 vouchers to give out this month. And that is where you really can have impact and you help them set up their business. If they're not open to it, I just really encourage them then and guide them. Or if you don't have that capacity to be able to do something with them, then guide them to tools and resources. But I just feel like that is why we're sponsoring so strong and we're growing and we're rank advancing, is because I'm really giving them the best shot. Just like I would have wanted to do if we were in person, I would have wanted to get in the car and drive to their house if I could. Obviously we can't across the country. So that's the blessing of being in a virtual world right now. So yeah, 4 is launching or getting started. And number 5, I always leave the call with this. I say, okay, I've given you these awesome steps. We've got your launch plan laid out. You're going to start the training. The most important thing for you to note right now is somebody's going to roll their eyes or kind of give you you joined like a direct sales company or a party plan company, or somebody's going to like say they're going to host a class in month 1 and you think you've got your 4 classes for Fast Start and they're going to cancel, or your life's going to get really busy. Your job is going to be busy, or your kids are going to pick up a new sport, and you were existing up until this call without Epicure in your life. Like maybe you were eating it, but you weren't here selling it. You weren't earning any income. You weren't a part of our community. It'll be easy for you to let it go if you don't have some goals of any kind. So remember when I gave you your first homework to go back and look at the Fast Start and let me know what your thoughts are? Is Fast Start a goal of yours? Is a certain amount of money? Is just closing your first cooking class and getting some freebies? What would be some goals that we could set together? That's what I want to make sure you follow back up with me in the next day or 2. And also the other piece of homework is I need you to open your cooking class link, your first cooking class link, so I can get that plugged into your group. And then I'm going to get you all set up and I'm going to coach you like you're a hostess for the 11th when we do your launch. And that way you've got me mirroring, job shadowing how I run my classes and how I host as coach. And you're going to be able to just duplicate that. And that's it. That's the start of your business. If you do this time and time again, and you cycle through the same thing, you bring new consultants to me so I can welcome them and onboard them. You rock your classes and you keep booking your future business, you're going to be a rock star here, Susie. I'm so excited. Or Bethany, I'm so excited you're here. And that's kind of how I wrap up. So Sherry, what about you? What action items do you give them when you get off, and how do you leave that call?
Yes, it's starting to think through inviting to whether it be the launch I'm doing for them, the cooking class, giving them words for that. Here's something you can put on your main wall, just giving them all the resources so that it's super easy for them. Anything that makes it easier for them, it makes it an easier, yes, even if they're totally here just for the discount and just for, their own personal use, it still really models something so valuable for them, even in that little tiny, because you've got people here that it works for them just to open a link every month, or it works for them to even rolling every 3 months, that they stay active. They want to be here.
I love it. And then, people ask me, well, how do you keep the onboarding process going, Kayla? What do you do next? I tell them we're going to be BFFs. You're going to be my new best friend, whether you like it or not. No, I don't say that, but I make that sure they know that they're going to hear from me a lot. I'm there to support them, and I really follow with them. So I treat them kind of like a hostess, right? I'm going to coach them and tell them to save that. And I'm always, every time I celebrate them. So, oh my goodness, Sally, you got your first order. We didn't even do the class yet, and you got your first order. who's going to be your first booking? Right away, I drive it to the next level. So I'm always celebrating and then encouraging, celebrating and encouraging. So it's always about like that first class or that first order, that first booking, that first sponsor lead, a first three-way call, whatever I can get them to do to take action. And I just keep driving them back to the fast start behavior or what's next without saying what's next. But I'm really just always driving, and I keep them as an A and work closely with them until their energy doesn't match that anymore. But I consider a newbie an A because that's the best time to help someone run for leader is in their first couple months. And so we had someone in March join March 1st and run for leader in March. And her team now is sponsoring because, like Sherry said, the momentum of the leader is the momentum of the team, the pace leader, pace of the team, excitement, enthusiasm. And so it's funny, they don't know any different. That entire team. And I know that Cindy's going to be watching this. So new leader, Cindy, congratulations. But she set the tone that everyone sponsors right away. Everyone does a launch class right away. It's just very normal. And so that's how I onboard my new consultants. What about you, Sherry? What do you want to add before we wrap up today?
Yeah, just circling back to relationship, in whether you have a team Facebook group or a team chat, I personally have a team chat, and in my mind, I'm always business and content. I want to make sure I'm always giving valuable content. That's important to me. Well, I took a poll in my team chat, and hands down, 100%, they all wanted to get to know each other more. They wanted to do a book together. They wanted to do fun things together. And I'm like, oh my word, I've been missing the boat here. And I know relationship, I'm all about that. I did apply that here. Now it's a game changer too. And I think when we add our new people into your group or your team chat or whatever it is, and you're celebrating them, even I just had one who's been here for a little bit, very, very, very part-time, but she was the first one who signed up for conference, but she would have deactivated this month. And so I reached out to her, she placed an order so I could celebrate her QV that she did, but she was one of the first to sign up for conference, and I really wanted to celebrate that. And I think that it's just genuine, and those relationships really builds retention, and it's genuine, it's authentic.
Yeah. And we're out of time. So I'm going to leave this with one more thing you can do. And you'll have to talk to your upline director or senior director or global director on this if you need a little more training on this, or reach out to Sylvie, or Ricky. I always want to make sure I get that right. But I also use the Fast Start report pretty often. Every Sunday morning, I check the Fast Start report before church. And that's just the day I do it. And I look to see like who's closed 2 classes so far and could still close 2 more and hit month 1, or who's closed 6 so far. And maybe they missed month 2, but if they close 6 this month and it's the start of the month, they could get level 3 of Fast Start. I look for who's in their 5th or 6th month and could earn the leader bonus. So really that's kind of where also I'm working on onboarding, is I'm looking at the greater whole and running that Fast Start report under reports and really looking for that too. So, and I think Sherry's nodding like she does the same thing. Yeah. So we're always watching. So, okay, I have to wrap us up so that I don't get scolded for going way over time here. So I'm going to thank Sherry so much. Thank you, Sherry, for doing this with me, for encouraging others, for sharing that this wasn't something that you used to love to do or wasn't a strength of yours, and how far you've come in the last 6 months. I'm so excited for your incredible growth and what's going to happen for you and your organization in 2021. And my blessing or wish for all of you today that are watching this training is that you find inside of you that same excitement and that same enthusiasm for onboarding and welcoming in new consultants and really helping them feel the community and the success that's possible here right from the start, because that is going to totally change the face of your business. So any closing words, Sherry?
No, just to offer encouragement and especially if you're a new leader or if you've been here a while, like I was, and somehow it just wasn't quite, what is the word? It just wasn't turned on enough or something. So anyways, that there's time, you can do it. And I think loving on our relationships and loving on our newbies is really a great place to start.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, everybody.